Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, the candidates in the home stretch with one day to go. Former President Donald Trump in the battleground states, delivering his closing argument, suggesting he wouldn't mind if the journalists covering his campaign were shot.
And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much. I don't mind.
And saying he should never have left the White House in 2020.
Kamala Harris looks to end on a positive note. The vice president does not mention Trump by name while visiting key constituencies in Michigan.
Michigan, I am here to ask for your vote.
After an appearance on Saturday Night Live.
This morning, we break down our final poll, zoom in on the battleground states and the security concerns heading into Election Day.
Tornado emergency, twisters ripping through the heartland, damaging more than 100 homes in Oklahoma. Ginger is tracking the state of emergency.
Violent altercations between police and fans in the stands at a college football game.
Breaking overnight, music titan Quincy Jones passes away. The legend who worked with Ray Charles, Michael Jackson, and so many more.
Dawson's Creek actor James Vanderbeek reveals his cancer diagnosis, now what the 47-year-old father of 6 said overnight.
Stage fright. Coldplay's Chris Martin falls through a trap door.
And we're flying into Monday.
Barkley slips 2 tackles and picks up the first down, jumping up in the air.
Holy reverse hurdle Saquon Barkley. Plus, Devontae Smith leaps.
And makes the adjustment. Did he get the feet in? Touchdown!
Helping the Eagles get the win. And we're racing into the week. Just look at these smiling faces. This morning, the winners of the New York City Marathon live in Times Square.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
We are looking forward to that a little bit later, but we have a lot to get to on this busy Monday morning. One day, as you know, to go until the final votes. The candidates making their final pitch to the nation.
Robin, barnstorming through the battleground states over the weekend. Early voting across the country is coming to an end. Over 78 million Americans have already cast their ballots.
Final push for both candidates right now. Vice President Harris focusing on the must-win state of Pennsylvania. Former President Trump hitting 3 states in the final hours, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Our team is in place across the battlegrounds with the campaigns. Rachel Scott starts us off with the latest on Donald Trump. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning. We are finally here. Just one more day to go. Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris delivering 2 vastly different closing arguments. Trump's advisors have spent months trying to get him to focus on the message, immigration, and the economy. But in the final days, the former president only leaning more into violent and dark rhetoric. Overnight, Donald Trump using the final moments of his 2024 campaign to air grievances and push false claims about the 2020 election, insisting he should have never left the White House after he lost.
I shouldn't have left. I mean, honestly, because we did so well.
At that rally in all-important Pennsylvania, Trump suggesting he wouldn't mind if journalists covering his campaign were shot.
And I have this piece of glass here. But all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much, because I don't mind.
His campaign telling us Trump was joking. But it's the second time in a week Trump has used violent rhetoric. Just days ago saying this about Republican Liz Cheney, who has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington.
Trump's campaign downplayed those comments. The former president hitting 3 swing states in one day, going from complaining that President Biden is no longer in the race to calling Democrats demonic.
But this is a group of people, large group of people, larger than people think, but it's a very demonic party. It's become that way. The people aren't. The people, Democrats, regular Democrats aren't. Most of them agree with what I'm saying.
And as he tries to win back Georgia, the former president campaigning with Herschel Walker, the Senate candidate who lost after it was revealed he allegedly paid a woman he had an affair with to have an abortion, something Walker has denied.
We will build a missile defense shield, all made in the USA, wrapped around our country to defend ourselves and our country. It's all going to be made in the United States, and a lot of it in your great state. We'll put Herschel Walker in charge of that little sucker, okay?
In the final stretch, Trump also campaigning alongside Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Kennedy, who has pushed a range of conspiracy theories about vaccines, says Trump promised him he would be in charge of the public health agencies.
I want to be in the White House, and he's assured me that I'm going to have that.
Over the weekend, Kennedy saying that on day one, a Trump White House would advise all U.S. water systems to remove fluoride from public water. So the Trump campaign putting out another statement later saying that the former president received a range of policy ideas but remains focused on tomorrow's election. Today, Donald Trump heads to North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, guys.
Okay, Rachel, thanks very much.
And stay put. We're going to get back to you in just a little bit, Rachel. But right now, we're going to turn to our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, in Pennsylvania with the latest on the Harris campaign. Good morning to you, Mary.
Good morning, Robin. Well, Kamala Harris is finishing out this campaign, crisscrossing this all-important state. She is hoping to turn out every last voter by convincing them that she's the candidate who can turn the page. Overnight, Vice President Kamala Harris making her final pitch to voters in Michigan.
Michigan, I am here to ask for your vote. I am here to ask for your vote.
Eager to end on a positive note, Harris not mentioning her opponent by name, opting to focus less on Donald Trump and more on the kind of president she would be, drawing a sharp contrast.
I pledge to listen to those who will be impacted by the decisions I make. I pledge to listen to experts. And I pledge to listen to people who disagree with me. Because, you see, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy. In fact, I'll give them a seat at the table because that's what strong leaders do.
But in a state with one of the largest Arab and Muslim populations, Harris well aware the war in the Middle East is a crucial issue. In East Lansing, opening her remarks with a pledge to end the conflict and suffering.
This year has been difficult, given the scale of death and destruction in Gaza, and given the civilian casualties and displacement in Lebanon. It is devastating. And as president, I will do everything in my power to end the war in Gaza, to bring home the hostages, end the suffering in Gaza, ensure Israel is secure, and ensure the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, freedom, security, and self-determination.
The vice president crisscrossing the key battleground state on her last weekend of campaigning, hoping to get out the vote and reach key constituencies like black voters, with stops at churches.
But joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way.
And black-owned businesses.
This is a fight that is not against something as much as it is for something.
Right.
In the final sprint, both campaigns trying to broaden their reach, playing ads during NFL games, speaking directly to voters.
Just remember, Kamala and her friends broke it. I'll fix it. Most important election in the history of our country. Go and vote.
Now, the baton is in our hands. I pledge to seek common sense solutions to make your life better. And I pledge to be a president for all Americans.
Harris taking a moment to cast her own ballot, too, by mail.
Make sure you fill out your ballot. I did mine. I'm going to put it in the mail.
And making a surprise appearance on Saturday Night Live. Playing the mirror image of actress Maya Rudolph's version of her.
Because what do we always say? Keep Kamala and carry on a lot.
Now Kamala Harris is spending the entire last day of this campaign here in Pennsylvania, the state most likely to tip this race. And she has several events throughout the day, and then it culminates in what is expected to be a massive rally here. And guys, she is leaning on some big names like Katy Perry, Oprah, Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, The Roots, and others to help get her across the finish line.
Okay, Mary, thanks. Let's bring in our Washington Bureau Chief Political Director, Rick Klein. And Rick, one of the most remarkable things we've seen here, at least in our national poll, it basically hasn't moved since Kamala Harris got in the race.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And good morning, George. Our final poll before the election has a 3-point lead for Kamala Harris nationally, 49 to 46. That's what we showed when we published the poll yesterday. We actually stayed in the field an extra day just to see if there's any late change. Identical. The race has barely budged, as you said, for the entirety of the race. All of that said, there's been some intriguing movement late in the battleground states. The latest and last New York Times Siena polls shows kind of the reverse image of what you might expect. Harris right now very narrowly ahead in Nevada, as well as North Carolina and Georgia. Those are must-win states if you're Donald Trump, and that's a little bit of a surprise. Meanwhile, the opposite is true in some of the battleground states that Harris has to win. Right now, a tied race in Pennsylvania, a tied race in Michigan. That's problematic for the Harris campaign, and it tells you why both campaigns are nervous. They still have to defend what should be safe territory in a very close race.
So Rick, let's break this down a little bit more. Let's talk about the gender gap, because former President Trump, of course, the clear favorite among men, while Kamala Harris, big lead among women.
Yeah, that's right, Robin. Our poll has Trump leading among men by 5 points, Harris up among women by 11. That's a 16-point gender gap, not far from what it is typically. But if you drill down a little bit more inside some subgroups, you see a bigger range. Among independents, that's a 22-point gender gap. Among voters under 30, among younger voters, that is a 45-point gap. That's a huge break for women under 30. That Harris lead is enormous. The fact that Trump has a tiny lead among men doesn't really weigh that out.
One other constant in this year's polls, Rick, the American people seem to be divided and super angry.
Yeah, boy, is that right. And you see it here. 74% of Americans say we are on the wrong track going into Election Day. That's an astounding number. It includes half of Harris supporters, 98% of Trump supporters. Wild numbers. And those are the kind of things that are just typically brutal for an incumbent party. But, of course, this is an unusual year in so many ways.
Yeah. And as we've been reporting, a huge number of people have already voted, Rick.
Yeah, some of these numbers, yeah, it's a big deal, Robin, because 78 million plus Americans have already voted, and it's going to take a while to count those votes. It's a record number of in-person early votes, but all those mail votes, those start to really pile up. Every state different. Georgia and North Carolina, for instance, we're expecting a relatively fast count. Some of the biggest Pennsylvania counties say they're going to handle things faster than last time, but very likely we're bleeding at least into Wednesday. Nevada and Arizona, meanwhile, they're probably not going to have final votes by the end of the week. And that is not a sign of anything being off. It's what state officials say to expect, especially if the margins in any of those places are really tight.
And that's what we all must keep in mind, Rick. Thank you so much for your reporting. And for more, let's bring in our chief Washington correspondent, Jonathan Karl. And you spoke with the former president yesterday, Donald Trump.
I spoke to him early. Voice sounded weary, a little scratchy. He's got this unbelievably packed campaign schedule. But I have to say, although he told me that he thinks he's leading everywhere, by the way, he said he hadn't seen that New York Times Siena polls where it shows him trailing within the margin of error in 4 states. But he did acknowledge to me something I've never heard him acknowledge before, which is that I asked him, "Is there any way you could lose?" And he said, "Yeah, I guess you could lose. Bad things could happen." The other thing is he took issue with the notion that he's been off message, which some of his top advisors are where he's been all over the map in his speeches, all the negativity, not focusing on the core economic issues that they say he should be focused on. He calls it the weave, and he told me the weave got me elected president, and we saw it continue yesterday.
One thing that's pretty consistent over the last week, John, is we saw Donald Trump's message pretty dark, pretty pessimistic. At least in the last day, Kamala Harris coming out much more hopeful and optimistic. Fundamental tenet of modern American politics, the more hopeful, optimistic candidate wins. If it turns out that Trump pulls this out, it's really testing that.
Yeah, I mean, it tests so much of what we think we know about politics if Trump wins, both that in terms of the ground game. Look, this has been an intensely negative campaign all around. It's the end of democracy versus the end of our country as we know it. But Donald Trump has gone incredibly dark. I mean, even in ways that have frankly shocked me. I mean, when he said yesterday, invoked the idea of shooting through reporters, and he wouldn't mind that. I mean, we've reached a new level.
It really is something. We just heard John say it's not exactly what the campaign wants Donald Trump to be doing, but there is some strategy behind it, trying to drive out angry young men.
Absolutely. And this is where the former president actually has been really focused in the final days with his messaging. He's been appearing on a lot of these podcasts, really trying to energize infrequent voters, young males, to turn out and get out and vote. You know, George, I was talking to one Republican over the weekend, and they said, show me where you're campaigning in the final days, and I'll show you where you're concerned about. There is nowhere where Donald Trump is spending more time than North Carolina.
Surprised at that.
Yeah, it's the only battleground state where he is on defense. He won that state in 2020. Of course, you have a Republican gubernatorial candidate there that has been shrouded in controversy. Most of the counties that Donald Trump won in that state are rural counties that have been impacted by Hurricane Helene. I talked to Donald Trump a few days ago. He felt pretty confident about his chances there. But again, 3 stops over the weekend, another stop there today,
and
George.
Of course, we did see that New York Times poll. At least that one had Kamala Harris ahead there. Rachel, thanks very much. Rebecca?
Thank you too, John. All right, we're going to get more now on the security concerns, both the physical well-being of poll workers and foreign attempts to interfere through disinformation. Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas is here with more on that. Good morning, Pierre.
Rebecca, good morning. In the final hours of the campaign, local officials are taking extraordinary steps to protect election workers. In Detroit, they have bulletproof glass and a panic button for workers to call police, who will be stationed around the building, even on the roof. At this vote counting site in Maricopa County, Arizona, metal detectors, armed guards, surveillance cameras, and if necessary, a SWAT team. And in Washington State, Nevada, and Oregon, governors plan to have National Guard available for any large-scale civil disturbances. Despite all the security concerns for election workers, Homeland Security officials say voters will be safe to vote, and that for 97% of them, there will be a paper record of how they cast their vote, meaning complete accuracy for recounts. And they say voting machines cannot be hacked because they're not connected to the internet. I spoke to a senior law enforcement official over the weekend who said this should be the most secure election ever. Guys?
Well, let's hope so. Okay, Pierre, thanks very much. Coming up, we are zooming in on some key battleground states one day until the final votes.
Plus, what sparked the violent altercations between police and fans in the stands at a college football game?
And breaking overnight, the legendary Quincy Jones passing away. This morning, we remember the music titan.
Coming up, guys, the winners of the New York City Marathon are live in Times Square this morning. We also have a lot of winners on our GMA family staff.
We do.
Who ran in that race, and we will be right back. Congrats to all of them.
Back here on GMA, the man behind so many memorable hits, including that one right there, We Are the World. Well, this morning we are celebrating the life and legacy of music titan Quincy Jones, who worked with Ray Charles, Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra. The list just goes on and on.
Soundtrack. Following a lot of headlines right now. One day to go until the final votes. Candidates making their final pitch to the nation. Vice President Harris focusing on the must-win state of Pennsylvania. Former President Trump hitting 3 states in the final hours: North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Over 78 million Americans have already voted. And if you need to make your voting plan, scan the QR code on our screen to find out where your voting place is located, or go to vote.gov. Also right now, another big vote this week. Striking Boeing machinists are set to vote today on a new deal that could end their strike after more than 7 weeks. The union representing the 33,000 workers has endorsed a tentative contract.
And take a look at this video of Coldplay lead singer Chris Martin falling right there through a trap door while performing in Melbourne, Australia Sunday. The audience gasped. We did too, as you watch Martin fall backward before quickly recovering and jumping back on stage. He thanked the workers below for catching him. Thank goodness. But yes, the first time you see that video, you feel it.
You really do.
And we've got a lot more ahead, including James Vanderbeek revealing his cancer diagnosis and what he's saying this morning. That's coming up.
Okay, right now we're going to zoom in on some of the battleground states. We're going to start with Georgia. Donald Trump won the state in 2016, lost by fewer than 12,000 votes in 2020. Our senior national correspondent Steve Osunsami is in Atlanta. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, George. We're already seeing record turnout in this election. So far, more than 4 million people have voted. Compare that to 2020, when the total vote was about 5 million. So people, of course, are curious whether or not we're going to even see long lines at polls like this one directly behind me tomorrow. Republicans point to success in some of the small, deep red counties where voter turnout is near 70%. incredible numbers. The only issue is that's not where most of the people in this state live. They live in counties like this one where I'm at this morning, Fulton County, where the polling turnout has been well above the state averages. Both campaigns are going to be on the lookout for what you might call closeted voters. On the left, black and women voters for Trump. On the right, Republicans and some independents who are sick and tired of the chaos, the indictment, and the lies about the 2020 presidential election results, people who won't vote for the former president. One thing to keep a close eye on are new voters. So far, more than 500,000 of them, many of them people who have moved here from out of state, young voters. And one important thing to note tomorrow for anxious nerves, we could get an indication of how this early vote falls very early. Under new state law, the counties here now have to report all of the early vote and the absentee votes they have so far within an hour of the polls closing. The polls close at 7, which means we could see the results of those 4 million votes as early as 8 o'clock. Robin?
That would be different from the last go around. All right, Steve, our thanks to you. The so-called blue wall states are thought to be Vice President Harris' clearest path to victory. She heads to Pennsylvania this morning after spending yesterday in Michigan. Juju Chang is there in Detroit for us. Good morning, Juju.
Good morning, Robin. It is down to the wire here in Michigan. You know, historically, there have been two giant guardians at the gate for the blue wall for Democrats. One, of course, is African-American voters, and that is why Kamala was here at a black church in Detroit this final Sunday. Remember, Hillary lost here in a squeaker, in part because of lower African-American turnout. Now, Trump has also chipped away at blue-collar workers, the other guardian for Dems. Detroit is home, as you know, to the car industry. And even though the top leadership of the UAW has endorsed Harris and is organizing for her campaign, I talked to Doug, a 30-year veteran of the union, and he told me that a lot of his buddies feel that the leadership has lost touch with the factory floor.
And you talked to some other voters,
Robin?
too, because the, of course, Muslim American vote there in Michigan is so key and so important. And you spoke with some voters from that key block?
Absolutely. They make up the largest percentage of Arab American voters anywhere in the country. Arab Americans are solidly Dems here in Michigan, but many of them told us that they can't bring themselves to vote for Harris because of the war in Gaza, even though they know that Trump is even more pro-Israel. Now, one Muslim leader, Ali Dagher, a lifelong Democrat who even worked for Obama here in 2008, told us that his ballot sat unopened on his dining room table for weeks. He opened it in front of us and told us that he has finally decided to vote for Harris, and he's telling his friends, don't sit this one out. If you don't vote, you don't count, Robin.
Because inaction is actually inaction. People need to know that if they don't vote. That is. Okay, Juju, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Robin. Abortion is also on the ballot in 10 states, including the battleground state of Arizona. And Elizabeth Schulze is in Phoenix with more. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Hey, good morning, Rebecca. We are right outside the Maricopa County Election Center, where 60% of all of the ballots cast in Arizona will be counted. And directly on the ballot here is abortion. Arizona is one of 10 states with a ballot initiative to expand abortion rights. The proposition here would enshrine the right to an abortion in Arizona's constitution. Organizers tell us they are optimistic that it will pass with bipartisan support. At the top of the ticket, this is a tight race with former President Trump narrowly ahead in the polls. He lost to President Biden here in 2020 by only 10,000 votes. And Rebecca, that was the first time a Democrat won since 1996.
And of course, Elizabeth, we saw the tight race in 2020 play out with protests and conspiracy theories there. What does security look like this time around?
And this center really was the target of those protests from Trump supporters and election deniers. Some of the workers here tell us they're actually still facing violent threats on their lives. You can see this entire iron fence. This was put up after the 2020 election. There's another fence on the outside perimeter, and the sheriff's office tells us it's put in place other security measures like patrols on horseback, drones, and other surveillance ahead of the election. Rebecca.
Deep appreciation for all the people doing that work there. Okay, Elizabeth, thank you. Robin?
And Rebecca, we're going to turn now to the life and legacy of Quincy Jones, a music titan who worked with Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson, Ray Charles, and so many more, passing away overnight. Lara is here with more. And I remember when he was asked time and time again how he wanted to be remembered, he would always say, as a good father.
Yep. He did,
Yeah.
and that he was, Robin. Good morning to you. He was the father of 7 children. In fact, his very last post on Saturday was wishing his daughter, Martina, a happy birthday. But Quincy Jones was a creative genius, considered one of the most influential forces in modern American music. His career spanning 70 years, and in that time giving us some of the most memorable music of our lifetime. The world is mourning music titan Quincy Jones, considered to be one of the greatest minds in music and television history.
I've seen the power of music as a tool to reach the hearts and minds of millions of people.
Born in Chicago, Jones found his love for music when he moved to Seattle as a young teenager, and it's there he met his friend and collaborator, Ray Charles.
Ray was like, wow, he was like God to me.
In the 1950s, Jones followed his passion working as a trumpeter and conductor for Lionel Hampton's jazz band. He would go on to work with jazz greats including Ella Fitzgerald and Duke Ellington. And he worked with Frank Sinatra on the classic Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly me to the moon.
Come on and ease on down the road. In 1978, Q, as he was known, produced the soundtrack for The Wiz, where he crossed paths with Michael Jackson. He would go on to produce Jackson's record-breaking Off the Wall and Bad. Their partnership also led to the creation of Jackson's blockbuster Thriller album, which sold more than 100 million records worldwide. Jones was also the man behind the all-star charity single, We Are the World.
Love, laugh, live, and give. That's what it's about.
Quincy Jones became the all-time most Grammy-nominated artist ever, with 80 nods and 28 wins. Q also produced the 1985 film version of The Color Purple, with legends Danny Glover, Whoopi Goldberg, and Oprah Winfrey.
When I first met her, I said her future was so bright it hurts my eyes.
Quincy Jones's legacy lives on through his music and humanitarian causes, which touched nearly every sector of the entertainment industry. Jones making this touching post on his birthday in March, writing, "This life that I've been blessed to live is not one that I take for granted. I am grateful for every person who lent me a shoulder to stand on." Quincy Jones was 91 years old. And his publicist telling us in a statement that Quincy Jones was surrounded by his children, his siblings, and his close family at the time of his death. His family adding, although this is an incredible loss for our family, we celebrate the great life that he lived and know there will never be another like him. He is truly one of a kind, and we will miss him dearly. So will we.
Yeah, love, laugh, live, and give.
Love that. Woo! Adopting that.
Thank you, Larry.
So prolific.
A violent clash at a college football game. Will Reeve has the details. Hey, Will.
Hey, George, good morning. Georgia, Florida is one of the great rivalries in college football. They play the game every year in Jacksonville, Florida. That's neutral territory. Georgia won this weekend, but what happened in the stands is shocking. It's prompted an investigation, and it was caught on camera.
The Jacksonville, Florida Sheriff's Office says it's reviewing multiple violent altercations between police and fans at the Georgia-Florida football game on Saturday.
That's assault.
Jeremy Williamson says he recorded this video in the second quarter after an argument over verifying the fan's digital ticket.
They made contact with this man, and when he said, "I'm not leaving my seats, I paid for them," and they immediately pulled a taser on him.
And that wasn't the only altercation at the stadium. Multiple videos show a struggle in the fourth quarter between 3 officers and at least 2 fans. Then 2 officers appear to start punching the fans. Jacksonville's mayor saying, "I'm aware of several disturbing videos circulating. The incidents are under investigation." One safety analyst says it appears the officers were following their training because one fan could be seen with his hand around an officer's waist near the officer's firearm.
And the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office said in a statement its professional standards division is, quote, aware of the videos circulating from the Georgia-Florida football game. Administrative reviews of the incidents are being opened. As such, the agency will not comment until all facts are known and the reviews have been completed, guys.
Ooh, that video.
Hardcore.
It is. All right. Well, thank you.
Now with our play of the day, and we are flying like an eagle this morning. Lara, you were here with that story.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So happy for this guy. NFL stars are known for some pretty acrobatic plays, but we're seeing next level stuff out on the field these days like this. Eagles running back Saquon Barkley, Penn State's finest, I might add, catches the ball against the Jaguars. He spins, and then he does that. I don't even know what to call it, except Ariel says it's a reverse hurdle over the defender there, pirouetting midair, going backwards over the defender. His own coach, Nick Sirianni, says it was the best play he's ever seen. There will be kids all over the country trying to make that play. I don't recommend it personally. Nick believes there's only one person in the world who could do that, and he finished by saying he was speechless when he saw that happen. They did go on to beat the Jaguars 28-23, thanks in part to those moves.
We are
Penn State. Rough weekend for us. Rough weekend.
Oh,
beat by Ohio State.
But good for your hubby.
Yeah. Love you, honey.
Yeah. Coming up next, Tom Cruise said to be considering a sequel to one of his hit movies. Larry's going to tell us all about it.
Did you just call me
Pop
Larry?
News. No, I like it, Lara.
Go, Lara. Go, Lara. Go.
Good morning, America. Today at AM. Candidates in the home stretch, one day till the final votes. Donald Trump barnstorms the battlegrounds with a dark closing argument. Kamala Harris looks to end on a positive note while visiting key constituencies in Michigan. And House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries is here, talking about the Democrats' fight to win back the House, what he would do as Speaker.
James Vanderbeek's health battle, the 47-year-old father of 6, revealing that he has cancer. The numbers of young people with the disease soaring. Now, what the Dawson Creek Star said overnight. Finish line phenoms. The winners of the 2024 New York City Marathon are racing into Times Square. On the nail-biting final few seconds of the race, making history, and why this marathon is so special.
Oscar-worthy reaction. Look who else popped up in Adele's audience, and how the 16-time Grammy winner channeled Meryl Streep on stage. And we're dancing into the new week with Carrie Ann Inaba. The Dancing with the Stars judge is live in Times Square, talking about the show's major milestone and more, as we say, Good Morning, America.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. We do say, we do say Good Morning America. Dance with the Stars notching a milestone episode, and we are celebrating a milestone of our own. GMA is entering our 50th year, and we're celebrating the people that we've met along the way, the places we've gone, and the stories that we have told.
And oh, the places we have gone, Robin. Of course, there's George running up the Empire State Building stairs. Robin, you took that, a little baby leap. No, it was a big one.
I think I was pushed. I'm not sure I jumped. I was more or less pushed.
You got the assignment, you followed through, and Michael, he went to outer space. So this is just the beginning, and this morning we are looking back at some of those unforgettable moments that's coming up. But we're going to head back to George now.
Right now I'm here with the Democratic leader of the House, Hakeem Jeffries. He will become Speaker if the Democrats do take control of the chamber. Welcome to our show this morning. It takes 4 seats for the Democrats to do it. Are you confident it's going to happen?
Well, good morning, George. Good morning, America. We are working incredibly hard to run through the finish line to make sure that our views and our vision for the American people are clearly articulated. We will always put people over politics. We're going to fight hard, working with a President Kamala Harris to lower costs, to grow the middle class, to make sure we continue to bring back good paying American jobs. And of course, we will always defend a woman's freedom to make her own reproductive health care decisions. We're on the right side of those issues, but we put it into the hands of the American people.
Current Speaker Mike Johnson is also hitting the trailer hard. He's promising that Republicans are going to bring the federal government to heel if they take control of the Congress and the White House. What is the impact if the Republicans maintain control?
The extreme MAGA Republicans have clearly and unequivocally articulated what they will do to America moving forward. The extreme MAGA Republicans will take a blowtorch to Social Security. They will take a blowtorch to Medicare. They will take a blowtorch to the Affordable Care Act. House Democrats will take a blowtorch to Project 2025, and we will put the American people first. We will build an economy that works for everyday Americans, that helps people who are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck, not just get by, but get ahead.
What's your biggest concern in this final 36 hours?
Well, these races are close all across the board. Vice President Harris is closing strong. She's closing with a positive vision. She is going to bring people together. The other side is trying to tear us apart. But the races are close in the House, the Senate, and the presidency. But based on what has happened, and you think about the closing week that the other side has had, from the hate fest at Madison Square Garden to threatening to repeal and displace millions of people from the Affordable Care Act, as well as the violent and the vile and the vicious rhetoric, doesn't seem to me that that's a strong closing argument. We are going to continue to focus on solving problems for hardworking American taxpayers.
Former President Trump also appears to be laying the groundwork for contesting the election again if he loses. And your predecessor, Speaker Pelosi, made it clear yesterday that she thinks you need to be the Speaker because she's concerned about what Speaker Johnson would do if he has the gavel on January 6th. Do you share that concern? What could he do?
The majority of current House Republicans voted not to certify the election in 2020. And so it's certainly a challenge. And my colleagues on the other side of the aisle don't seem to be capable of unequivocally saying that they will certify the election and the verdict that is rendered by the American people. As House Democrats, that's what we will do. We believe in free and fair elections. We believe in the peaceful transfer of power. We believe in democracy, even when we disagree with the outcome. That's been part of what has made America the greatest democracy in the history of the world.
A lot of the seats in play to determine the majority in the House are out there in California, so this could take some time before we know who's controlling the House.
Well, that's correct. There are a total of 9 seats that Republicans now hold in the House that President Biden and Vice President Harris won in 2020. 4 are in New York, but 5 are in California. And so with the margins being very close and a heavy concentration of races in California, we'll see what happens. But again, all we can do is work hard, run through the finish line, articulate a positive vision of change for the American people, make it clear that we want to deliver real results, and then put it in the hands of the American people and trust the voters.
So you're heading back on the trail from here?
Heading back on the trail from here, I'll be in the Upper Hudson Valley with Pat Ryan, who's a patriot and a passionate and prepared public servant. But we've got great candidates and incumbents all across the country who I think are going to put us in the strongest possible position and have to win this election on behalf of the American people.
Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Robin?
Thank you, gentlemen. Coming up in our GMA Morning Menu, the winners of the New York City Marathon are here. They're telling us about their heart-pounding finishes.
So great to see. Also ahead, James Vanderbeek revealing that his colorectal cancer and his family has helped him deal with that diagnosis.
Plus, we have Lori Bergamotto here this morning. She's going to help us get through the time change with sleep products as seen on social media. Plus, she's going to reveal some of the hottest Moana 2 toys.
I know some people who are excited about this.
But some are seen here, Rebecca, for the first time.
Can't wait.
And Lara has a very special guest.
Hey, Robin, I am with the OG, everybody. And we are giving Carrie Ann Inaba a 10. She has been dancing with the Stars judge since the very beginning. And now she'll tell us all about what is planned for the show's 500th episode. We'll have so much to talk about. 500 episodes worth. Coming up on Good Morning America.
On GMA, take a look at these beautiful, happy faces. Just a few of our GMA staffers who ran across the 5 boroughs in the 2024. And there's Katie, my morning producer, and Ross, one of our extraordinaire stars in the control room. They came to work this morning. They had an excused absence, but they are here. And right now, I'm here with the folks who crossed the finish line for some unforgettable victories, even made history. Sheila Chepakuri from Kenya, the Netherlands' Abdi Nagahi, plus Americans Daniel Romanchuk and Susanna Scaroni. Yep. Yes. Congratulations. Can we say congratulations to all of them who crossed the finish line? And you showed up. I mean,
You need to see us walk.
Oh, yeah. You feeling good this morning?
Yes.
Yes, is that sense of relief, but also the excitement of what you all just experienced? Is it a combination of the two?
This is New York, huh?
Yeah, it is New York. Yeah. All right, Abdi, let me start with you, son. Okay, all right now. It was close. You were close. You were with another one who had won before you had not won. You get into the park, then you had this burst of energy. Yeah. Where did that come from?
I think because my focus, I trained well, of course. But yeah, at mile 25, I was like, okay, this is Chebet. He has so much speed. I was like, I didn't come far to come this far, so I'm gonna win this race. And I just waited until the last 100 meters, and it was amazing coming to the finish.
And the first from the Netherlands.
Yeah, absolutely big history.
Yeah.
Even the king was texting about it, and the whole country is like waiting for me. So yeah, really amazing.
Very happy for you. All right, Shayla, come on now. You've only been running marathons since what, 2022?
2022.
And you come up and you were up against a defending champion or a former champion as well. So what was going through your mind as you were crossing the finish line?
What was going through my mind when I came here? I was the best. I had 217. So I told myself I have to be the best because I had 217. I was the fast. I had to be the best to cross the finish line.
Yeah, and that's what you did. And now you are considered among the best. So congratulations. I just can't believe it's only been since 2022
Thank you.
that you have been. Okay, you two over there, you all made history, the first Americans to win both the men's and women's wheelchair events. Congratulations to you both. What's it feel like to know that you're part of history?
Really, just it's amazing to be back in New York, and we both trained together. Right. So really, just great to be able to be here, and overall great day.
Yeah, it's a lot of camaraderie with all the participants. Okay, these three were like really, it was very nip and tuck. Then you, young woman, you like just blitzed the competition. I mean, did you just wake up yesterday morning just feeling it?
Oh yeah, honestly, I was saying it's so nice to actually feel good the day the race is actually scheduled for.
Right.
And I woke up feeling great. I told my coach, I feel good today, and I just wanted to see what my body could do from the get-go. And so thankful that I had strength all the way until the last hill.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And what do you want to say, all of y'all? I mean, New Yorkers come out en masse, especially when you hit Brooklyn, First Avenue and all that. So what do you want to say to the people that were out supporting you along the way, any one of you?
Really, I remember mile, I think 9, when the road got smaller. I really looked to my left side because my ear was getting deaf. People were shouting so much. I was like, wow, this is amazing crowd. And that's what makes New York really amazing. It's really the crowd. And so the bridges are heavy and then tough, but when you come out from the bridge, every bridge almost there is big mass of people, and it's just really amazing.
Suzanne, what makes this so special, the New York City Marathon so special?
I really think that what New York Roadrunners does, from athletes like us who are lucky to be the first ones, but all the way to the athletes who come in very last, like they make everyone feel so special, and that they want us to enjoy our day out there. And I think that's one of the reasons it's one of the most exciting majors to come to, and the one I really hope to do well at. So.
And you have, because you won before.
Yeah.
Yes, you've got this. Well, congratulations to each and every one of you. And I agree with what you said. Everybody who participated are our winners. We have somebody from Dallas, Texas that's here. It was her 3rd marathon. She said it was her first New York City one. And she was like talking about the hill. Okay.
How about some pop news?
All right, we will do. And we're going to begin this morning with actor James Van Der Beek's health battle. Dawson's Creek, the star, revealing his colorectal cancer diagnosis exclusively to People magazine and writing on Instagram that he wanted to share this news on his terms.
Call me an eternal optimist. I have faith.
This morning, Dawson's Creek star James Van Der Beek says he's staying optimistic while battling colorectal cancer, telling People magazine, I've been privately dealing with this diagnosis, and I have been taking steps to resolve it with the support of my incredible family.
And I can't think of any better way to move forward than to fulfill a pact made by 2 old friends and just have a good time.
Vanderbeek adding overnight on Instagram, "I'm in a good place and feeling strong. It's been quite the initiation, and I'll tell you more when I'm ready." According to the American Cancer Society, colorectal cancer is the third most common cancer diagnosis in both men and women in the U.S. About 1 in 23 men and 1 in 25 women will be diagnosed in their lifetime.
It's a real worldwide phenomenon. The screening age for colonoscopies has been dropped. The threshold for getting a colonoscopy and doing other screening tests is much lower than it used to be.
The number of people with colorectal cancer who are less than 55 years old has doubled since 1995.
And we'll play the next 24 minutes for the next 24 minutes. And we'll leave it all out on the field.
At just 47 years old, Vanderbeek is known most for his 90s hits, including Varsity Blues, saying he's been working through his diagnosis with his family. Writing on Instagram, quote, "We roll with it, taking each surprise as a signpost, pointing us toward a greater destiny than we would have discovered without divine intervention." He has such a good attitude about it. And next month, he will join Anthony Anderson for a 2-hour special to raise awareness for prostate, testicular, and colorectal cancer testing and research. We're happy he's doing well. And
good attitude.
yeah, absolutely. Also in pop news this morning, Tom Cruise is said to be considering a sequel to his 1990s hit, Days of Thunder. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Cruise is in talks to make a sequel, but he'll do it the same way he did Top Gun. That is, if he finds a script he likes. And I have to say, it's a pretty good system. Top Gun Maverick was a huge success, making $1.49 billion worldwide. In fact, Cruise will have to find time for the sequel in between projects that include a new Top Gun follow-up to Maverick. Surprise, surprise. He's also working on another film set in outer space and the much anticipated and delayed 8th installment of Mission Impossible MI8 that finally hits theaters next year. Busy guy, so talented.
I'm in for that.
I'm in for all of it.
Yes.
I really am. How about Adele channeling another diva during her Weekends with Adele Las Vegas residency show? So she dressed as Meryl Streep's character, Madeline Ashton, from the 1992 film Death Becomes Her. And wouldn't you know it, guess who's in the audience? When Adele spots the one and only Meryl Streep in the crowd, she curtsies, then they share a hug, all while the 16-time Grammy winner continues to sing, but between lyrics, she manages to find time to say, "I love you," to her idol Streep. It's been a real love fest for Adele at the residency. Last weekend, you guys might remember, she spotted another of her all-time heroes, Celine Dion, in the crowd. So definitely the place to see and be seen. And then finally, guys, a big debut at the San Diego Zoo. This little Sumatran tiger cub, barely 2 months old, emerged from his den for the first time to explore the world along with his mom. The little guy, whose name is Belong, is expected to grow to 8 feet long. Oh, he's such a nugget from head to tail, and he will weigh as much as 260 pounds. But right now, he's just a cute little kitty.
I love how he's just like,
I know.
Oh, he's like, just wait, you just wait.
You just wait. All right, guys, that's pop news.
Thank you, Lara. I got to get to some other news. We're going to head over to Seen on Social, showing you the products blowing up social media feeds. With almost the whole country changing the clocks this weekend, we've got GMA lifestyle contributor Lori B with us to really help us get through these time changes, right, Lori?
That's right. Good morning. Are you feeling well rested this morning?
Yeah, kids don't really get the memo on it, so not exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's why we're here to tell you what is trending on social media, what everybody is talking about. So let's kick it off with this comforter.
Excellent.
So this is the Rest Ever Cool comforter. Rebecca, go ahead and put your hand inside, just so, do you feel how cool that is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what people are saying online and what a lot of sleep experts are telling us is that your body wants a cool temperature. That is one of the keys to getting a good night's sleep, right? And you know, we've all been there. You're like, one leg is out of the covers, one leg is in the covers. And especially if you have a partner in the bed who sleeps hot or sleeps cold, that affects your body temperature.
Just saying.
Just saying. You know, speaking for a friend. But basically what this thing does, and what everybody loves about it, is it's keeping you cool all the time and not cold. There's a distinction, because we are entering the winter. People are like, there is some sort of magic baked into this, that it keeps you nice and snug because it is a weighted blanket, but it's lightweight. And what they do is it just regulates your body temperature so that you're never overheating. It's moisture wicking, really comfortable. And just for today, you guys, there's a special discount for GMA viewers.
On that QR code, take a look. Okay.
Okay. Pillows. This one is so important. Whether you are a back sleeper, a side sleeper, or a stomach sleeper, this pillow is getting insane reviews and really has gone viral on social media. Now you can see it's a little bit different than your average looking pillow, right?
Pillowcase is going to be different on this one.
Well, actually, you know, it's so funny you say that. It's one of the most asked questions. You can use a regular pillowcase on this.
Okay.
So whatever your normal one is, if you like it, use it. But you can see there's a little divot here. That's where your head goes, and it's memory foam. So there's going to be a little bit of a rebound, and it really cradles your neck no matter which position you sleep in. And then, Rebecca, you see on the sides here, that's for arm placement. So you're able to lay on your stomach, put your arms in, or however you want. People love this, and it's under $37. So
excellent.
Great deal there. Okay, light. And natural light.
Sound machines,
light,
light, all of it.
This is baked into the Hatch Restore 2.
Yes.
Now, when you want to wake up and you don't want that alarm, like if you're in a dark room and the alarm goes off, you feel sort of panicked. Nobody wants to wake up like that. Hatch Restore 2 has sort of solved all of those problems for you. There's an app. It sort of trains you the right way. Now, also, I think we can just dim the lights here so you can see you have all different colors to choose from. So we have like a nice sunset calming way, whether you're going to sleep or waking up, so many options. This is so well reviewed by people, and everybody says it, like with the sound and with the light cues, it really helps you get a better night's sleep.
We like that.
Okay, speaking of a better night's sleep, the Loop earplugs. Now, I have to say, I was a little wary because I don't.
Earplugs while you're sleeping.
Yes. These are incredible. So they have incredible noise canceling capabilities. So if you sleep next to somebody who snores, or if there's city sounds outside that are really loud, that will cancel that out. And feel them. They're really soft silicone foam. So you're getting that insane comfort that reduces the ear pressure. Those are $50. Also $50, and what I think is going to be an incredible gift, this is the Lunia. It's made with naturally moisturizing silk. It blackens everything for you, so you don't have the enemy of sleep, which is light. You can blacken that out. Also, feel how soft it is, like a pillow for your eyes. We got this at Nordstrom, and the coolest thing about it too is this side you can use as a headband. And so when you're washing your face at night, you just push your hair up, and then you flip it, and you're ready for sleep. It is the greatest gift.
Ah, Lori, thank you so much. And that QR code is on your screen. It takes you right to the products on our website. And coming up, we are kicking off our GMA at 50 celebration. Stay with us.
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
We are back, and we're celebrating a birthday. Our birthday. Good Morning America debuted on November 3rd, 1975. So the show just turned 49. This morning, we're kicking off our countdown to 50.
And many of you have grown up watching GMA. You've been with us for our biggest moments, from breaking news around the world to exclusive interviews to events you could only see on GMA. We want to show you.
Good morning. I'm David Hartman. Today is Monday, November the 3rd, and we'll be joining you here every weekday morning.
For nearly 50 years, more than 25,000 hours.
Come on now, how lucky have we been?
To be able to say at the start of each day,
Good morning, America.
Good morning, everybody. I'm David Hartman.
Good morning, I'm Joan Lennon.
Good morning, America. I'm Diane Sawyer.
And I'm Robin Roberts.
Like family, you've allowed us into your home.
You have won my breakfast in bed contest.
Celebrating together the joy and optimism at the start of each day for the promise of the day ahead.
It's the start of a new day. New hopes, new dreams, new ways. Sing that, girl.
Being there with you.
Tonight is the end of nothing. It's the beginning of everything.
For the important stories of our time.
A night of rage in Los Angeles.
Do hereby swear to be faithful to the Republic of South Africa.
Who wins Florida wins the presidency.
Hurricane Katrina, state of emergency.
Robin, I know when you left here, you hadn't been able to make contact with your own family yet. Have you done so?
They're okay.
Mom's okay, sister's okay?
They're all right.
Tragedy at the elementary school. 27 dead, most of them children.
With the death toll going up, when do you expect these numbers to go down?
This is uncharted territory for everyone.
We've heard from some of the most powerful and famous people in the world. Do you miss being president?
The real answer is I loved being president. On the worst days, I loved it.
Are you concerned that with all the security here, the terrorists might choose to strike in other parts of Russia?
We have adequate means available to us.
Are you still opposed to same-sex marriage?
It is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
And talked one-on-one with those at the center of the biggest stories of our era. You don't think this could have been handled, this actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
The idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens.
Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly, he was one of the officers who burst through the door of Breonna Taylor's apartment. They never heard any announcement that it was the police. What do you say to that?
Maybe he didn't.
The heartwarming.
The moment is here. Time for you to meet all those babies born since our cameras started rolling.
I'm saying yes to marriage. I'm saying yes to marriage. We're getting married this year. And heart-wrenching stories. We've shared them with you.
There you go, baby.
Okay, take your time.
Okay.
I told myself I was gonna cry.
It's okay.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
The stories that have taken us to the ends of the earth.
This is that hidden world we've been chasing.
Got two polar bears, but they look cute from up here. From up high.
Oh my God, I'm doing it!
Holy.
Moly.
Down low.
And all across the country.
Welcome aboard the GMA Whistle Stop Tour 2008.
Robin, where are you?
Yeah, the show is about to start.
Guys, the show started like we're in the show.
The television events where you've had a front row seat.
Live from somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean and making broadcast history, a television first.
As our team behind the scenes figures out how to get it on the air.
3, 2, 1, roll it.
What a morning it is to be at sea with the USS Baton.
And the times things didn't quite go to plan.
Very much. Sorry.
All right, thank you.
The cutest dog. He's available for a job.
Maps are broken. Here's the eastern shoreline.
And now the countdown is on. A celebration 50 years in the making that can only happen in America.
Celebrating the mornings shared with you.
Can we just head outside for a moment? That woman right there, 45 years she's been watching Good Morning America.
And the joyful promise of all the mornings to come.
Good Morning America. We're just about 50, and we're just getting started.
We sure are, and we will celebrate turning 50 for the next 12 months. So get ready for a good time.
A nice long birthday party.
Well, we have a lot to share. It's been 50 amazing years, and we'll start next week with a Baby, Oh Baby, Where Are They Now live event. You guys will remember back in 2001, I was a correspondent here on the show. We were live in delivery rooms across the country. You saw a glimpse of it in that piece. Those babies are now in their 20s. We'll see, so am I, and we'll see what they're up to. Now.
How lucky are we? We get to celebrate so much of life.
I could not agree with you more, George.
It's so great.
We are reminiscing here on GMA with Dancing with the Stars judge Carrie Ann Inaba, because this week marks 500 episodes, and this gal has been there for every single one of them. She rightly calls herself the OG. OG in the house.
500.
It's unbelievable.
Thank you. It's very exciting.
And you say you wouldn't change a thing. It has been just a joy. You are not over it yet.
Oh, no way. Are you kidding? We're just beginning. In fact, we're like having this resurgence.
That's
it's
what
been
it
amazing.
feels like.
Yeah.
There seems to me to be a renewed energy, an interest in the show, but you guys on the show are just lighting it up. It's just contagious to watch.
Thank you. It's so much fun. I mean, I've been on the panel from day one with Bruno, and then we've seen people come and go, and it's just great because the family just keeps growing. And
I wanted to go
really
back
nice.
a little reminisce, if you will, moment.
Okay.
Working with the great Len Goodman.
Oh, Len Goodman. I miss him so much. I still hear him, though, so he's never left the ballroom. There are times when I watch a dance and I can hear him going, yeah, that would be a 10 from Len.
Yeah, but he was very tough. I always felt like you were going to get, the sort of tough love parent was Len.
Yes.
You were the...
I was always the emotional, like I watched the performance as a whole.
Yes. And then Bruno just was mad.
Bruno is going to stand up and do something shirtless, right?
Yes.
And we were always a great team, and now we've got Derek, and it's just, it's got this new vibe to it with Julianne and Alfonso, and it just feels like it keeps getting better and better, and that's such an honor, especially after so many seasons, 33.
Yeah, 33 seasons.
Yeah.
I know this is hard for you because I can relate being here for a long time. Do you have a moment, a show, a dancer that are sort of in your, that you just thought you loved? Let's start with a dancer, a contestant that you just were like, this person is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, you know, the one that stands out always is Amy Purdy. There was something about her that was so magical. She danced with Derek Huff, and she was just, look here, there she is, para-Olympian, and just incredible. She did this dance.
Didn't she?
No, I don't think she won, actually.
She was outrageous.
Sometimes you can have the best dances, but they don't always win, which is kind of cool.
The truth.
She's amazing. And then also Alfonso. I mean, do you remember Alfonso when he came with Whitney?
So joyful.
And now he's hosting. I love it.
And he's the perfect fit as
we got
host.
the family.
I love them as hosts. I love Derek as judge. Right. I'm always happy when I can see him dance as well.
Always. We always want him to get dance and then come judge.
Which brings me to my next question. How will you celebrate the big 500th episode? Will the judges dance?
The big question. You'll have to tune in to see that. But I will tell you a few things about the 500 episode, which is really cool. The contestants are gonna dance like a memorable dance from the past, an iconic dance, which is kind of cool. Recreate one of those dances, and then there's a instant dance round, 5 minutes.
That
5 minutes.
Judged on?
They're going to be judged on. 5 minutes. We tell them the dance, the style, and they have to go change in wardrobe and get back out and dance. Now we're going to see a whole different side of everybody. Everybody's like, whoa.
I mean, as a dancer, how tough is that?
As a dancer, I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see some new elements, and we'll be able to see sort of. I think it's going to change the vibe.
What will you as a judge be looking for? Because now they haven't had time. They're sort of naked, if you will. Mm-hmm. So will you be looking at sort of raw dance talent?
Yeah, I think I always look for raw dance talent. Like, I don't think that it's just always about the best dancer, but if they have a technical dance and there's techniques that's needed, of course I'm going to have to look for that, right?
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I've never judged this kind of round before either, right? This is all brand new, so we'll see what happens. But I know that I think. I mean, I just love this season. I'm just imagining each of them out there, and they're all going to bring their special flavor.
I can't even guess who might win.
Right?
Do you have a prediction right now?
You know, they're all so good. I do think that there are two people that might do better in the instant dance round just because they seem to have a little more dance background, but we'll have to tune in. No, I'm not going to say. I think people who are at home watching.
They know.
Hey, listen, we have a vested audience right at home. They are in it, so they know.
We have the highest number of
votes.
Viewers at home voting, which I think must make you all feel so good that people are not only watching, they're participating.
Yeah, I think that's always the most exciting thing is that our show, everybody's involved. Like, we're there, we're telling our part, and then everybody at home gets to be involved. And I think that's the way the world should work. We want it this way, right?
Yeah.
And we have different opinions. Sometimes people come after me for my opinion, but
Does it hurt your feelings?
Sometimes, sure. But the better thing is that it shows that people love what's happening, and that makes me happy. They're passionate about who they're voting for. It's okay, they can come after me. I'm a judge, I'm used to it, tough skin,
and
no
you should
worries.
just not even read it. You're doing a great job.
Well, sometimes I read it because sometimes it's good feedback, and sometimes I can learn too, so it's all fair. It's all good.
I will have so many more questions, but we're being wrapped. I guess we'll just have to watch.
I'm gonna keep coming back then.
I always love having you.
I love you.
Your energy is perfect example of why the show is so special. Guys, Dancing with the Stars returns on Tuesday, November 12th with a very special episode you do not want to miss. It's on ABC, of course. Coming up on GMA, we reveal the great toys, apparel, and more from the new Moana movie. Stay with us on GMA.
Coming into our view beneath the morning sky.
Okay, you are listening to We're Back from Moana 2, the sequel to the blockbuster Disney movie. And you know who else is back? Lori Bergamotto with a very special look. Yes. Woo! With a very special look at the new dolls, toys, and more to celebrate Moana's return. It is great to see you back, Lori. We're getting major mom creds here on this one.
Oh, yes. And I don't know about you, but Moana's like my favorite movie, so nobody's more excited about Moana 2 than I am. And I'm really excited too because there's so many fun things. We're going to start with this American Girl Disney Moana doll. She's making her broadcast debut today. So really fun. She's going to join her princess sisters, Cinderella, Ariel, Rapunzel and Tiana. The first time you guys are seeing her, she's dressed in an outfit that she wears in the movie along with her necklace. Sophia, feel her hair.
Yeah, beautiful.
I want to play with this doll.
And the necklace is key, obviously.
And the necklace is obviously key.
The heart of Tafiti.
I love that Rebecca knows. So we also have, right beneath her, we have the doll from Mattel. My daughter just turned 4 last weekend. She got this for her birthday, and she's been playing with it nonstop. Really fun. She plays with it in the bathtub, as Moana is meant to be in her natural environment,
she
in the
loves
water.
the water.
And then also there's that play set from Mattel, which is also really fun. It comes with her animal friends. It comes with 10 accessories, and it really allows for a lot of imaginative play.
Okay, and we've got backpacks, drinks, candy.
Yes. So we're gonna move to Maui's fish hook. I mean, you know Maui. Everybody loves Maui. Played by Dwayne Johnson. Yes, this is how he shapeshifts. This is his magical fish hook. This is from Jax. And what we love about this is it, again, allows those kids to get into imaginative play, right?
Can I get a Chihu?
Exactly. So this is available now. I should mention that the American Girl doll is available on November 27th, which is the day that the movie opens. You want to see that movie
right
on
around
the big
Thanksgiving.
Screen. Also available on November 27th is that Lego set right there. And that is so much fun. I mean, Legos in general are so much fun, but when you get to combine your love for Moana 2 with the Lego and get all of that together, it's so much fun to do that. Now, we've got some toys here.
Yes.
But we can't forget about the style,
Please.
right? So all of the clothing and the accessories I'm going to show you, it's all the first time anybody's seeing it. It's making its debut. So we have the Spirit jerseys here right next to me. Those are from the Disney store. They say Wayfinder on the back. They're really fun. The Disney store really wanted to combine adventure and style, because who does it better than Moana?
Obviously.
Nobody. And then a cute little dress. I feel like Isabel could really rock that dress. Stella could as well.
Absolutely.
That's from Posh Peanut. That's available later next week, as well as the backpacks. And then when you go to the big screen, you really want to get into the spirit, Rebecca. So also making their broadcast debut, we've got these coconut waters from 100 Coconuts. They're available in coconut, pineapple, and mango flavors. And I see you're really ready for the gummies. Yes. So these are from Better Sours, a plant-based alternative. So they're sort of the healthier gummy.
Yum.
What's really, right? They're really good. What's really interesting about them is started by two best friends from Hawaii. So, you know, it's like a Moana Maui moment.
Yes.
But two ladies, they're best friends. They made this company. And you can see we've got Moana and her little sister, who's a new character, Samea, on the cover there. On the packaging, thank you. And those come in a passion fruit flavor in the shape of stars. So I don't know about you, but I know where I will be November 27th is sitting in the movie theater with a coconut water, with those snuck into my purse, and watching Moana 2, because I'm so excited to check it out.
You sneak candy into your purse, too?
I do.
Of course you do, Lori B. And you can shop for these products by scanning the QR code on the screen or by going to goodmorningamerica.com. And Moana 2, as Lori said, opens nationwide on November 27th. These are passion fruit. They're so yummy.
3 minutes of smiles right there. Have a great day, everyone.
I'm in.
See you tomorrow.